Hi, my name's Jason Rowe. I'm a freelance travel photographer, filmmaker and a tutorial creator for Photoseed.com. In this basic camera operations video, we're going to take a look at how to make sure your images are sharp. If you are relatively new to photography, you may have been disappointed with the sharpness of some of your photographs. You may have put this down to poor autofocus or even a bad lens, but there are some steps that you can take to get a sharper image. Three things that can reduce your sharpness are camera shake, a very shallow depth of field, and image noise. We get camera shake when the shutter speed is too low to counter our own natural movement. The result is a kind of motion blur in our images. A shallow depth of field can make it very difficult to get focus on the correct point. Let's look at some of the basic things we can do to ensure sharp images. First, pick a nice mid-range aperture. Here, going from 1.8 to f8 significantly increases what's in focus both in front of and behind the subject. This gives us a better chance of a sharper shot. Secondly, pay attention to the way you hold the camera. Use a steady stance with your elbows tucked into your side. Stay relaxed. If you tense your muscles, you are likely to get an unsharp image. If you need to use a slow shutter speed, then it's recommended to use a tripod. Keep your ISO relatively low. 200 to 640 is ideal. As your ISO goes higher, you get more noise in the image, and this can make it appear unsharp. There's one very important consideration when choosing a shutter speed, especially when shooting handheld, and that is the focal length of your lens. The longer the focal length of your lens, the more it magnifies any movement of your body. Here you see the difference between an 18mm lens and a 200mm lens. As a rule, for handhold shooting, you should try and pick a shutter speed that matches or is faster than your focal length. For example, shooting a 50mm lens, you might use 1/60th of a second or less. If shooting with a 200mm lens, you should aim for 1/250th of a second or less. There is a caveat to this though. Many lenses and cameras these days have image stabilization. This can give you up to 4 stops of extra stability when shooting. So, if you are shooting with a 200mm lens without stabilization, you will need 1/250th as a minimum. However, if that lens is stabilized, you may gain 4 stops, meaning that you may be able to get sharp images at 1/15th of a second. Be sure to check your images at 100% on your camera's LCD screen to ensure they are sharp. If they are not, then increase your shutter speed until they are. When autofocusing, always half press the shutter to lock the focus to your subject before fully pressing the shutter. Also, check out our snap card and video on how to hold your camera correctly. It will help you immensely. By practicing these easy techniques, you should find that you will soon get a higher percentage of sharper photos. My name's Jason Rowe. I hope that you've enjoyed this video, and I'll see you again soon.